Ooh, week two. I'm excited. I'm doing this a little late, but gotta get it done. Oh, oops. 1 second. Gotta put my headphone in. Oops. There we go. I'll put this one in too. All right. Ew. You can't see this, but I'm voguing. Thank you, Jessica Christ, for teaching me how to do this. Ew. Work this pussy, 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 work this pussy. I'm still waiting here tonight. Hello everybody, my name is Replika Queen. I am a 23-year-old entertainer here in Knoxville, Tennessee, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. Now today we are continuing our Replika Reviews Drag Survivor series with episode 2 of Drag Survivor, Rock and Rage. Now this episode has so much to go over. Even though it's shorter than last week's episode, now we've got some real drama going on, so we are going to dive right into it. But before we do that, if you don't mind to go down and click the little like button down below to go ahead and give this video some traction. Leave a comment telling me who you're rooting for if you are sad about this week's elimination. And be sure to comment down below who you want to see take home the Drag Survivor crown. And what do you want to see from episode 3, 4, 5, and the finale at episode 6? Because this series is insane. So I want to hear your opinions. Also, don't forget to click that little subscribe button down below so that you can be updated every time I upload a video. I'm doing these weekly, and then after Drag Survivor's over, who knows? I might start a new series. If y'all want to see Replika review something else, definitely leave it down below so I can start looking into a new series to review after Drag Survivor's over. Now, let's get into the episode. Alright, so we start out the episode with Nick Flair opening up about how he's really sad that Hagen got eliminated first, saying that he feels bad, but, you know, while Hagen performed well, that the rest of the tribe was kind of worried that Hagen was going to be consistent throughout the rest of the competition, and that's true. We were really worried that Hagen was not going to do well from the jump, so I definitely agree with that. I think that, you know, unfortunately it was sad to send Hagen home, but somebody had to go home first. I'm thanking God it wasn't me, and I love you, Hagen, sending you lots of love, and now that the competition is over, sending you so much love, and I just know you're doing great. Flannel admits that she had a full-on mental and emotional breakdown during the elimination, actually even saying that she cried off stage and on stage, and Juuls says that she did the same. She felt terrible about the elimination. She cried after the elimination was over, and during the elimination, before the elimination, after the elimination happened, she didn't realize how hard it was going to to be to send people home live on stage, because these are your friends, these are your coworkers, and you're just kind of cutting their, their time in this competition short. And I mean, you have to do that in order to win a competition, but we're friends with these people. We work with these people on a weekly basis, sometimes multiple times a week. So it was really rough to kind of go through this, and Juuls and Flannel were really feeling it. Now, I cannot relate. I was ready. I knew what I was here for. I was like, let's send bitches home. I don't care how long we've been friends. Let's send some bitches home because mama wants that $500 and that crown, okay? Juuls also admits that she actually asked the rest of the LaKiKi Tribe to send her home in week 1, which is correct. She felt like she really let the team down. She felt like she performed worse than Hagen did, and was worried that she would continuously draw us down throughout the remainder of the competition. So she asked all of us to send her home, and in the end, we couldn't do it. We felt like Juuls deserved another chance. So Juuls got to stay, and unfortunately Hagen left, but Juuls definitely was feeling the pressure from week 1, and I'm glad that she stuck around. After we hear from the LaKiKi Tribe about their feelings from the first week, we then get introduced into our second challenge, which is Rock and Rage. We were assigned the job or the challenge of coming up with a cohesive rock and roll band or group. Well, it said in the packet band, but you'll see what I mean here in a minute. So we were tasked to create our own rock and roll themed brand, look, and performance. It had to include everybody. It had to include a set piece and a prop, and it had to include, I think it said everybody, and we had to look cohesive. So, and it also had to have a shock factor. We had to have something shocking that no one would see coming, or, use something in a really shocking and creative way. So those were our challenges, and then afterwards we were tasked to walk the runway in our best rock and roll drag. Now, it's important to note that we were told we could wear the same thing for the challenge and the runway. We did not have to have separate looks for both. So some of us actually wore the same thing that we wore in the challenge on the runway. Now, in confessionals this week, LaKiKi came up with their little concept for their performance, that they were going to be delinquent kids in detention, and Dixon Normous was going to be playing the pervy teacher who comes in and tries to flirt with them and hit on them. And honestly, it's a little iffy. I think that the concept was cute. Eva LaDiva says that it's going to be something where everybody can showcase their own style and what rock and roll means to them, and showcase their own style with it. So we're gonna see how that goes, but it sounds like, they're acting more as individuals instead of a group. And you're supposed to be a cohesive group. So we'll see how that plays out. Now, the LaKiKi Tribe, the purple tribe, the best tribe. The LaKiKi Tribe actually came up with a full concept. We became the band called Skank Bangers, #Skank Bangers, and we came up with a actual band mix of Welcome to the Jungle by Aerosmith, Guns N' Roses. Welcome to the Jungle. I don't know my rock and roll. This happened over the summer. I don't remember. We had a mashup of Welcome to the Jungle and Kickstart My Heart by Motley Crue. I do know that one. So I think it's Guns N' Roses who did Welcome to the Jungle. It's Guns N' Roses or Aerosmith, but I think it's Guns N' Roses. Y'all can yell at me later. So we actually went above and beyond for this challenge. We wound up coming up with flyers, thanks to Nick Flair, thanks to Flannel and Tyra Von Shade, who is a local drag legend and one of Flannel's 2 drag mothers. We got a video made, which went along with our theme. We had newspaper articles in the video with our pictures in it as like rebellious and illegal things of like tabloid headlines that rock and roll people had done, but we replaced them with our pictures. So I mean, we wound up having, a couple different shock factors, some of which didn't really hit, but one, I mean, knocked it out of the park. So we really went above and beyond what we were asked to do because we didn't want to lose again. We didn't want to be in the bottom again. We already felt like we were in the bottom, and for a team full of bottoms, we were on the bottom enough, and so we were ready to get on top and win a challenge. So we didn't have to send anybody else home. Now, the next thing we find out is that the LaKiKi Tribe has actually begun the hunt for the LaKiKi immunity idol. Now, Eva LaDiva ends up admitting that she actually has 3 clues to the idol. She received the one for winning the LaKiKi challenge, or winning the main challenge last time. She was the MVP in week 1, which means she received an additional clue, and she found a hidden clue upstairs in the dressing room, meaning that she had 3 clues to help figure out where this idol was, but she could not figure it out. She kept getting confused, and she wound up having no luck finding this idol. Lana Cabana, on the other hand, was able to figure this out and snatch the LaKiKi Tribe's hidden immunity idol. Now, we all knew that Lana had the idol. She wasn't being real slick about it. Like, we all could kind of tell that Lana had the idol because she had this kind of like air that she was going to be safe. She was like, I'm gonna make it all the way to the end. And we knew from that moment on that she started kind of being more relaxed about everything. We knew she had the idol. There was no way she didn't have the idol. She had the idol. Now, as per usual, drama follows me wherever I go, and my team was not spared from that. We had a little bit of frustration with our new tribe member, Miss Madison S Garden, throughout the entirety of the week. Now, Flannel immediately off the bat straight up says that Madison is going home if we lose this challenge. Flannel reveals that Madison actually sent the rest of the group her scores from the first challenge, and her scores were lower than both Hagen Pierce's from week 1 and Juuls' from week 1, meaning that Madison performed the worst out of everybody that was or currently is on our tribe. So, in a game where we have to keep a good team score until we merge into one tribe, we need stronger people, so Madison is immediately the target for Flannel. Now, Juuls tries to play devil's advocate and says, Madison takes direction really well, and Madison, is a strong contender, but, her nerves can get the best of her sometimes. So Juuls is really trying to, make everything okay and make Madison a little bit more comfortable and a little bit more bearable. But then I get my confessional. And let's just say, actually, you know what? Why don't I just let you all watch this confessional?
Madison being put on our team was the only reason I was very upset about being in the bottom last week and having to eliminate somebody. I did not want her on our team. There was a reason she wasn't picked in the tribal pickings. I feel like this week she has tried, but ultimately it's still not been enough. She has literally, we had everything picked out that what we were going to do on Tuesday, and she on Friday was texting all of us saying, oh, I don't have this for my costume, I don't have this. She's been very unprepared. She has been super unprofessional, trying to come up with ideas like pieing other queens in the faces to ruin their makeup as a shock factor, which the only thing shocking about that is that she thinks it's going to work. I do not want her on our tribe anymore. I've honestly considered throwing this challenge to try and get her out because I do not want her. She is the one person that I did not want from the jump, which is why I didn't pick her, and I told nobody who was put on my tribe to pick her. So I was very upset of the fact that she got put on our tribe, basically as a pity. For us to, as a group, have come up with our cohesive group look on Monday and then receive a message Friday night saying that she still had nothing and she didn't understand why, and coming up with concepts that she thought were cool but didn't fit the theme of the week, which is the important challenge, just makes her unreliable and makes her really kind of not ready for a competition like this. Love the girl to death. Obviously she's family, but I mean, sorry girl, you're the one we want gone. Sorry.
So while I did say all of that, I do want to say that at the time I felt like my points were valid because Madison had missed every rehearsal except for one. Madison had come up with a couple of ideas for our shock factor, one of which involved pieing Morphine Drip, the host of the competition, in the face with a shaving cream pie and ruining her makeup. Madison had come to us on Friday and told us that she did not have her confessional look, or not confessional look, her rock and roll like band look, which we all agreed on Monday. And, you know, Madison was just, at the time, it felt like she was being very unreliable, so I was venting my frustrations about Madison and saying that Madison needed to go. And at the time, I had valid points. Do I still stick by those? Unfortunately, yes. I feel like looking back at it, I still remember how I felt in that moment. And while, yes, she was a good teammate this week, she just had a lot of stuff that wound up not going along behind the scenes that I just can't justify, you know, me taking back anything that I said. So I do stand behind what I said. Madison, I do still love you, and you are still family. You are still my sister. However, it just, you know, I don't think this competition was right for you at the moment. Sorry. Now, the LaKiKi Tribe actually had a little bit of frustrations on their own. Lana Cabana decided to take the lead for her team and make the mix, which everybody else on her tribe thought that meant that she was going to come up with the concept too. So Lana, I'm blaming you for this performance because you came up with the mix and the concept. I'm blaming you for how it turned out in the end. This is all your fault. I love you. This is your fault. So, bad Lana. Lana also says that she wound up being at odds with Dixon because Dixon didn't want to play the pervy pedophile teacher because Dixon didn't want to glorify pedophilia, which I mean I agree with, but also it's a challenge and it's a drag show. We're supposed to push boundaries. We're supposed to get a little outside of the box. So Dixon, buddy, I'm sorry I'm on Lana's side. I still blame her for the way that this week turned out for y'all, but y'all, you really just, I think you should have just gone with it. And I'm glad you did in the end, but I think putting up a fight was a little bit far, a little bit much. Now, Dixon also says that he thinks he is one of the leaders of LaKiKi along with Lana. He says that he thinks his biggest competition, or the weakest link on his team, is Shariah Diamond. And, you know, he says that he really tried to make sure that the team was working well together and that everything was going smoothly. But, I mean, we kind of get from everybody else that Dixon was not really being that much of a team player and that Dixon was kind of being a little bit rough to work with. Lana actually says verbatim that working with Dixon was absolutely miserable during week 2. Like, verbatim, it was absolutely miserable. Biggie Tater says that Shariah was the weakest link on their team this week because Shariah spent the entire time that they were trying to rehearse putting a SIM card in her phone instead of actually giving her all to the performance. So, Shariah is now the main target of Biggie and Dixon, and Lana wants Dixon out just like everyone else, I think. Now, there was a rumor going around that Shariah had a hidden immunity idol, so Lana decided to be strategic, and she was going to vote for Dixon along with Shariah, so that way if Shariah did have the hidden immunity idol, then Dixon would be the one to go home. However, if Shariah did not have the hidden immunity idol, then Dixon, Biggie, and Eva were all three going to vote for Shariah, meaning that Shariah was going to go home if she did not play an idol. So, drama. Now, it is time for the challenge. So, first up, we had the LaKiKi Tribe, who did their little detention fantasy with Dixon playing the teacher, and all the rest of them were bad girls in detention. And, can't think of anything nice to say. It was rough from beginning to end. As soon as the music started, there was just a disconnect that everyone could feel. everyone wound up doing a bit of their own thing, and it wound up not coming together as a cohesive group like we were supposed to be. In my opinion, I feel like them deciding to go with a school theme rather than forming an actual band is what hindered them, because a band has to work together. And that was part of the whole challenge, was to have a cohesive look and a cohesive performance and look like you all belonged together. And that chemistry was just lacking in this week. Now, there were some good moments. Well, there were some moments. Most notably, there was, Most notably, there was Biggie Taters stapling herself on stage, like literally having a stapler and just right there in the arm. There was Lana breaking some pencils. There was Eva doing a spin and flipping over a desk. And then there was Shariah playing a guitar made out of books and pencils and rulers. Now, there was also, aside from it just being a rough performance to watch, the LaKiKi Tribe actually wound up getting spray paint on the stage, which almost disqualified them from allowing them to walk the runway and getting runway scores, which would have immediately put them in the bottom. Now, the reason this happened, I was told it was because the spray paint dripped down from the board that Shariah was spray painting. However, if you go back and watch, you can actually see Lana Cabana's hip pad knock it off and it sprays against the floor. Now, the LaKiKi Tribe was reprimanded and yelled at very harshly by the people behind the scenes, saying that it was very irresponsible for them to borderline ruin the stage, and that if they didn't get it cleaned up, they were going to be in serious trouble. Now, they did manage to get it cleaned up, but it was kind of rough to watch. So we, the LaKiKi Tribe, were actually told we could not go on until the LaKiKi Tribe cleaned up the spray paint. So we were on hold for an extra 20-ish minutes because we had to wait for everybody else to get their shit cleaned up. So it was a major hindrance to the rest of the competition that night. And as much as I love the LaKiKi Tribe and the members of the tribe, you all should have known better. I think that spray paint was a bad idea and you all should have been a little bit smarter about it. And it really sucks that you guys were not, because it hindered, I mean, it didn't hinder our performance, but we could have gotten out of there earlier. We could have moved things along quicker, and I think that it wouldn't have gotten you all so rattled. So that's just my opinion on it. But I do have to commend you guys on performing and really taking the, not the criticisms, but like getting yelled at and getting reprimanded. I really commend you guys for taking that like champs and not letting it affect you, at least that we could see. So good on you guys. Good on you, ladies and gentlemen. After the LaKiKi Tribe got the spray paint cleaned up and they evacuated the stage, then we were allowed to go on and give them all a Skank Bangers show. We were having so much fun on that stage. From the second the music started, I let all of my worries just kind of flow off of me. I was a guitarist. I also had Nick Flair being a guitarist. We had Madison S in the back playing the piano. Flannel Westcoast was playing the drums, and Juuls was our lead singer. And when I tell you, we crushed it. I was playing that Guitar Hero guitar like it was a real guitar and I was a real rock star. Flannel was back there beating the drums. Madison was pushing the same keys over and over, but I kind of sometimes went with the music. And then Juuls was incredible as the singer. She really just knew how to get that audience ready to listen to her and, control the mic and control the stage. So Juuls absolutely knocked it out of the park. And our shock factor for ours was that Nick Flair actually had a grind saw guitar that he shot sparks across the audience and across us throughout the end of the number once it switched over to Kickstart My Heart. Now, we all ended by, posing at the end of the stage. I tried to break my guitar. Flannel threw over her drums, and we all just, stood there really thinking like, damn, we really did this. Now, those were all fun, but I actually am going to give you all a little treat. I actually have Miss Flannel Westcoast here for an interview for week 2. So, hi Flannel, thank you so much for being here. I'm so glad that you're here.
I'm excited to be here in my car filming this interview with you.
All right, now Flannel, I know you're a bit of a rocker chick. I know that rock and roll is kind of your thing. So what was going through your head when you got this challenge and we got to create Skank Bangers?
I felt confident because I know rock fairly well. I grew up listening to rock and roll. I knew what kind of aesthetic, for the most part, that we would need to have. And I feel like Nick was also a strong ally in this and helping put this number together because he also has that background in the rock music genre. And, Nick made our mix and it was great. And me and Tyra Von Shade, shout out to my mother, put together that awesome video that went with our mix and everything just kind of came together,
Now, Flannel, again, we also had to walk the runway in our best rock and roll outfit. What was the process like getting your outfit together?
So I had bought my costume back right when COVID first hit, like in the first initial quarantine. I found it on one of those drag swap sites, and it's this stoned, a Leonard Skinnerd bathing suit, bodysuit thing with accessorized leather and chains. And I said, that's what I'm wearing. I just immediately knew, and I paired it with some thigh-high leather boots and that denim vest with a mullet wig.
Mm-hmm.
I was living my fantasy. And then at the last minute, I decided I'm going to chug a beer on stage. So I got a PBR, non-sponsored, and chugged it on stage, crushed the can on my head, and flicked it at the judges.
Now, you mentioned in the confessionals that you wanted Madison out next, and, you had a couple things to say about her scores. Do you have anything else to add about Madison and your feelings towards the situation from week 2?
I said what I said, girl. No, I mean, she worked hard, and it wasn't that her first number was bad. It just, got scored the lowest.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know this girl. I didn't know this girl. I mean, luckily I got to work with her through the competition, and I got to meet her, and I've worked with her since. She is incredibly sweet. She's a fierce entertainer, and she's great. But I did not know this girl. I'd never worked with her before in my life. I'd never even heard of her. And all I knew was that she was now on our tribe and that she had the lowest scores week 1 and, cut out the loose ends.
Now, watching the LaKiKi Tribe's performance, what did you think in this moment, being there live to see it happen in front of you?
I remember watching from upstairs then and thinking, wow, what a train wreck. This is a disaster. We are going to slaughter them. I remember watching them on stage. I was nervous at first, actually, before they started performing because they had all those props on stage. They had that, cork board behind them in the desk and all the props that they had. And I was like, oh, they went the extra mile and they had more than we did because we had props, but we had some guitars and a drum and a fog machine. We didn't really have as much of a stage setup as they did. And then the number started and I saw there was no chemistry between any of them, and it just went downhill. They were all moving around at the same time in a way that was so uncohesive that I just couldn't keep my eyes focused on. There was just so much happening, it was hard to read.
Mm-hmm.
Does that make sense at all? They were each doing, Biggie I think was stapling body staples to themselves, and Shariah was spray painting, and Lana was strutting around the stage looking pretty, and Dixon was tied up, and then Dixon was suddenly no longer tied up and was a student. Where did that student come from? That student was not originally part of the students. They're just there now. There was just what was Eva doing?
Eva was just walking around with that big bull ring in her nose.
Okay, so Eva had the bull ring in her nose. It was just a lot happening in the wrong way. I mean, like, our number, we had a lot happening.
We did. We really kind
But
of had a lot going on in our
purposeful.
number.
But it was purposeful and it made sense because we were a band. When you go see a band perform live, there is a lot happening on stage.
Now, we are going to play a game. Are you ready? We're going to play a game. This is a new game that we are going to do for the rest of Drag Survivor. It's called Mama, Would You Replicate This? We're going to be discussing the runways, and if you like it, you would replicate it. If you hate it, you would say, Mama, this is garbage. And if you are kind of in the middle, Mama, I will replicate this garbage. Are you ready to play?
Sure, let's play Replicate Discard.
Alright, first up, we are going to look at Eva LaDiva, who had this denim pant with a denim jacket that had LaDiva spray painted on the back and this black hair that was really big with the bull ring nose coming out of it. What is your opinion on this?
So for Eva, it's a two-part for me. I would replicate it from the head down. I am not a fan of the hair.
Okay.
I do not like the hair.
For me, I would replicate this. I think it is so chic. I love the denim. I love the jacket. I love the hair personally. I think that the hair is beautiful. I think the only thing I wouldn't do would be the nose ring, just because nose rings aren't really my style of drag. I mean, even this is, you know, a little outside the box for me. So I definitely don't think I would, you know, this isn't garbage. I wouldn't do the nose ring, but no, Mama, I would replicate this. This is so cute. 100% would replicate this. All right, next up we have Miss Lana Cabana, who came out in those leather chaps with the leather jacket and the white tank top that cut right here at the breasts. What did you think about this one? Mama, is this garbage, or would you replicate this?
Replicate it. She's stunning, she's sexy, she's beautiful, she's a fucking woman.
So I'm gonna be real honest, from the chest up and from the hip pads down, I would replicate this. But I have to say, Lana, I know you, I know your style of drag. I just wish that you had maybe a nude bodysuit on, or like, you know, you had cinched and, you know, just something there to give you a little bit of shape, because it didn't look like you had much shape. So I'm going to replicate it from the chest up and from the hip pads down, but that little middle section, Mama, this is garbage. I'm not a fan. I need to be cinched. Sorry. Next we have Miss Biggie Taters. She came out in these like cheetah print pants with a, you know, Rolling Stones t-shirt on that was stoned, and this red Geneva Convention wig. Literally mini baby Geneva Convention. So Mama, is this garbage, or would you replicate this?
I would replicate it. I liked the pants. I liked the band tee that she obviously got from Hot Topic and put some stones on. I liked the boots. It's something I would wear.
All right. Flannel, I love you. Biggie, I love you. Mama, this is garbage. This is just kind of basic to me, like looking around at what everyone else is wearing. It's a little basic. It's, you know, just some cheetah print tights with a t-shirt that's got some cheap rhinestones on it. And, you know, I just think you could have gone bigger with it. You're Biggie Taters. Go above and beyond. So, I love you, Biggie, but Mama, this is garbage. Absolutely not. Up next, Dixon Normous, wearing a, you know, denim jacket again and some pants. And he's painted very masculine. He's got his beard, his little handlebar mustache with his goatee. Flannel, I'm gonna let you take this one.
I'm gonna say, Mama, I would replicate this garbage. Because, like, while it wasn't the best, he was the only male-presenting person on his tribe, and I think he fit the aesthetic of a subsect of rock culture from that time period. It was very Meatloaf, very rockabilly-esque. So I got the references he was making with the hair and the mustache and the glasses. It was very biker rock and roll-esque. So it wasn't the best, it wasn't the worst, it's right in the middle.
Okay. If I was presenting male, I would replicate this because I actually think this is really cool. If I am in replica mode, Mama, this is garbage because this just doesn't fit who Replika is, but I also don't have a male entertainer side yet, so I could see myself possibly wearing this if I was presenting male or doing male drag, but for me, Mama, this is garbage. I just was not a fan of it. I'm sorry. And last on the LaKiKi Tribe, we have Miss Charissa Diamande, Miss Shariah Diamond, in this black bodysuit with a belt and a pink jacket and a wig reveal where you can see her bandana underneath and these little chunky ankle boots. Flannel, what's your opinion on this?
Mama, it's garbage. It fit the era. It fit the 70s and 80s era, but it was not rock and roll. It was more of like 70s, 80s pop. Try, you're a star, but it wasn't good.
Say it.
It wasn't good.
Say the line, Flannel.
Mama, it's garbage.
There we go.
Shariah, Mama, this is garbage. This does not say rock and roll to me. This does not even say like 70s or 80s. The wig reveal made no sense. The colors were not like a bright, vibrant neon like the 80s are known for. Nothing about it said rock and roll. The boots didn't go with it. The see-through bodysuit, it's just a mess. I didn't get rock and roll from this. Mama, this is garbage. No, absolutely not for me, no. All right, and now we have the LaKiKi Tribe. Now we do have a rule here. We are not allowed to, replicate or Mama, this is garbage, our own looks. So I'm gonna let you talk about your look first, but I would like to say, I would replicate this. I think this is stunning. I could never look like that. But I love this. It's simple, but it works. And the PBR can and the cigarette that you ate live on stage just works so well for this. So I would replicate this. This is amazing.
I would not replicate this. Actually. So, I liked the vest, but since this week, I have found the sleeves to this vest that I had cut off of the jacket, and I've been wearing just the denim sleeves. And I would opt to wear just those denim sleeves on each arm with the fingerless gloves over wearing the actual vest again.
Now, I am not allowed to say whether I would replicate or Mama, this is garbage, my own look, but next up we have me. And I'm not saying that it's been several months since this competition happened and I'm wearing the exact same thing that I wore on the runway and on the main stage for the challenge, but I think my answer is pretty clear that I would, if I got to do it, I would replicate this. So what do you think?
Mama, it's garbage.
How dare you?
I didn't like the hair, and we didn't get points docked off for wearing the same costume for the runway that we wore in the performance. But, it was cute. I don't think it was the best. I didn't like the hair. The hair looked like a booger.
Well, I guess it's a good thing I'm not gonna wear it in public again. Especially not for a YouTube video with hopefully a decent amount of views and for all of the people in Knoxville to watch. Up next we have Juuls, and Juuls came out in this strappy leather bondage rock and roll fantasy. I'm gonna let you go first. Go ahead, girl.
Bitch, where was this last week? It's a replicate, baby. Hands down, house down. Hold on, let me find it.
Oh no!
You're gonna have a blank image for a second. Yes, Queen, skinny legend, Versace boots, the house down, slay queen, hunty mama, and oop daddy work, Charlie XCX, snatch my wig, girl.
Oh my god!
I would replicate this. This is stunning. This is beautiful. This is amazing. It's so pretty. I wish I looked like that. I would wear this in a heartbeat. This is so fucking cute. Juuls, baby. Honestly, if this was fashion photo review, this would be a shoot, baby. Mama, this is perfection. This is everything. Yes, 100%. Absolutely. Proud of you. This is amazing. All right, next up we have Nick Flair, who changed, I think, his shirt from the challenge, but he had the same hair and he had the same pants. I'm going to go ahead and give this a mama, I would replicate this garbage, so right here in the middle. I felt like it was basic, but I felt like it had a rock and roll touch to it and a polish to it that really kind of gave it that little kick that it needed. So definitely I think that I would replicate this garbage. It's not my favorite look, it's not my least favorite look. So mama, I would replicate this garbage. Flannel, what do you think?
I would replicate it. It's something I would wear out of drag. As a male presenting person, I would wear that.
And last but not least, we have Miss Madison S. Garden in a look that it's the exact same look that she wore on the main challenge. So it's this black spiky hair with a denim vest and a black little bodysuit with some black booty shorts and some black tights. Flannel?
She said the shoes were meant for a beautiful woman, and if that were the case, then she should have been unqualified to make such a purchase, for they were ugly old maiden type shoes, if that were the case. It's garbage. I loaned her that vest. I loaned her the leather belt she wore, and I would not have worn it. And it's my stuff! But I did everything I could to help her out this week. I think we all did. I think Nick got her a wig to wear.
Nick
this
got
week
her
as
that
well.
black tinsel wig that she wore, yes.
We all tried our hardest to carry, I don't want to say carry, because that has a negative connotation, but we did our best to help out our tribe mates during the group challenges when needed. Was it up to par with what Juuls and I wore? No.
Mama, this is garbage. Flannel, thank you so much for being my special guest this week. I was so excited to have you. Where can people find you online?
You can find me at Flannel Westcoast on Instagram and Bubbly Boy Bud on TikTok, and I think Flannel Westcoast on Tumblr and my Facebook. I'm not going to give you that just yet. You have to wine and dine me first. But my Venmo and CashApp is also at Bubbly Boy Bud.
Now, Flannel, I have one more question for you. You were my closest alliance member from even before Drag Survivor started. You and I formed an alliance when we both found out we were signing up for the competition, and we agreed we wanted to work together from the jump. So I was wondering, would you like to be my permanent co-host for Replika Reviews Drag Survivor for the rest of the season?
Absolutely.
Yay! Okay, so it is official. Flannel Westcoast is now going to be the permanent co-host for Replika Reviews Drag Survivor.
Praise hell, praise Dale.
So she will be back next week for the full episode. Flannel, I'm so excited to see you next week. This is going to be so much fun. I can't wait. Thank you so much for being here. And I will see you next week. Bye, Flannel.
I'll see you next week, gal. Bye.
So after the runway and after the challenge, we find out that the winners of the second week of the Rock and Rage Challenge is the LaKiKi Tribe. Skank Bangers survive another week. Skank Bangers, which is myself, Juuls, Flannel Westcoast, Nick Flair, and Madison S. Garden, managed to survive to week 3 without having to send another person home. which means the LaKiKi Tribe was sent to tribal council, and it was between Dixon and Shariah, according to everybody on the tribe. So Dixon, Shariah, Lana Cabana, Eva LaDiva, and Biggie Taters were all sent to tribal council. Now, the votes were cast, the votes were revealed, and in a 3-2 vote, the second person to be eliminated from Drag Survivor is Shariah Diamond. It broke my heart to watch Shariah leave because Shariah is so talented, but I can understand the frustrations of working with somebody, especially in a team aspect, can really make you want them gone. So, with that, we're down to 9. We now have 5 people on LaKiKi and 4 people on LaKiKi. So, what's next week's challenge gonna be? Is LaKiKi going to win and send somebody home? Or is LaKiKi going to send somebody home? Who's going to win? And will I finally say something nice in a confessional for once? I guess you'll just have to watch episode 3 of Drag Survivor, now available on YouTube. I am releasing these 1 week after the next episode goes live, so this will be uploaded while episode 3 is already available. So, go check that out. All of the links will be down below. Every entertainer, including Hagen Pierce from week 1, will be listed down below with their social media and with their CashApp or Venmo if you would like to tip them. And, I am so excited. Please go check out the rest of Drag Survivor. Week 2 was so much fun, and week 3 is going to be even scarier. That's your only hint. So, this has been so much fun. Thank you guys so much for watching Replika Reviews. And I will see you guys next week with Flannel for episode 3 of Replika Reviews, Drag Survivor. Bye, you guys. Mwah.